During the past few weeks, the tenor of the Torah's chapters have taken a noticeable turn away from the human and divine drama that is woven throughout the book of Genesis and the first half of Exodus. For the past month, we have been reading lists of important, but not always so exciting commandments. We saw the blueprints for the first portable sanctuary and learned about the first Kohanim, the priests, and their uniforms. This week's portion, Tisa, begins with more intricate particulars about the portable sanctuary. But then, in Exodus chapter 32, the Torah shifts to one of the most intense moments in the Torah, the tale of the golden calf. It is a section that many of us have some sense of, especially surrounding the fact that Moses and God have been apart from the people on Mount Sinai for 40 days, and the people get very anxious. The Israelites have only been free for 3 months, and now both God and their leader, Moses, have gone AWOL. And so they do what they learned from living among the Egyptians. They decide to build themselves their own God, an idol, the infamous golden calf. But did you know that when God realizes what has happened, God, while they are still on Mount Sinai, says to Moses, and I quote, "I see that this is a stiff-necked people. Now let my anger blaze forth against them, that I may destroy them all and make of you, Moses, a new nation." Now Moses impressively talks God down to where Adonai renounces the plan to eradicate the people. But only a few hours later, Moses becomes enraged himself. When Moses descends the mountain with the 10 Commandments cradled in his arms and sees with his own eyes what the people have crafted, he's so angry that he hurls the precious tablets, and they shatter into bits and pieces at the foot of Mount Sinai. Then Moses has the golden calf burnt and ground up into powder, which he then mixes with water. He punishes the Israelites by making them drink this bitter concoction. Blah. And there is more, including additional punishment of the people, which I will not go into detail about, but suffice it to say, it is not pretty. And this apostasy of the children of Israel and God and Moses's harsh response is why this section of the portion is what so many of us focus upon. But there is an epilogue that, in my opinion, is where most of our attention should fall. And it comes immediately after all this tumult. Chapter 33 of Exodus tells of a weary Moses full of angst and doubt. Adonai is there too, significantly impacted by what has just occurred. They could have decided then and there to tighten the screws on the Israelites, to lower the boom on them all, to, well, fill in your favorite tough guy idiom. And we know from history that many leaders throughout time have dominated their citizenry after they have behaved in the way that the leadership disapproved of. But Moses and God want to find another way, a Jewish path forward. What Moses does first is to ask for a deeper connection to this God who he has teamed up with. Moses speaks frankly with Adonai. He requests more help. He asks to know God better and even to behold the Holy One's presence. And God responds affirmatively, even to the point where God sets up a way for Moses to see Adonai like a way, or in a way that Moses has never done before. And this gracious, gentle answer to Moses's request heals and reinvigorates him. Moses is not the only one reevaluating how things have gone. God, too, is interested in a major readjustment, a reset, if you will. 2 new tablets are carved, and Adonai pledges to inscribe the 10 Commandments upon them, just like the first ones. The Holy One and Moses return to Mount Sinai, and it is there that God speaks about the attributes that define God. These are the words that our cantors sung so beautifully just after the silent prayer. God describes God's self as being compassionate, gracious, slow to anger, forgiving and abounding in kindness and faithfulness. Qualities that, knowing what has just occurred, are aspirational. God knows what has happened and is setting a new standard for how to be in the future. Not once do they blame the Israelites for what transpired. If anything, as if they are saying, well, that was a total disaster. Let's now focus on ourselves and our partnership and how to get back to the core of what is the Jewish mission. And this response, this rather powerfully gentle, self-reflective, purpose-driven reaction to the hell that they had just gone through, is why I think this part of the portion is what needs to get more of our consideration. No doubt there have been moments or will be moments in most of our lives when those around us, and likely ourselves, are going to behave in ways which we will not be proud about. And these events, they can shake us to our core. We may be quite familiar with this, especially during this past year when the strain of the pandemic has instigated many a difficult episode among family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers. The story of Moses and God at the end of this week's portion is there to remind us, to inspire us, and give us hope that if we are in the middle of a crisis or ever face one in the future, that we can get out of it. We can acknowledge our role in our disasters without having to be defined by them. Then we can repair and rebuild with gentleness. We can reset and purposely commit to actions that care and nurture. This was not easy for Moses and God, and it will likely not be easy for us, yet we too can choose this Jewish path forward. Now, for the record, even God and Moses have some difficult moments going ahead, but these are small compared to their compassion, belief, and love for each other and the children of Israel. And after the events of this week portion, their trajectory is clear and strong, and they and the people are so much better because of it. God, help us to forge paths that we too can be proud of. Paths that cause blessing to flow forth because we chose and committed to them.